realtor from Oakville Realty Northwest. I am in Yaletown downtown, and I'm in the lawyer office, a lawyer that practices real estate, Shahrzad Pakrawan. I am pleased and I am honored to introduce you to Shahrzad.
Hello, thank you, Ray. My name is Shahrzad Pakrawan and I'm an associate at Yaletown Law Corporation. I practice real estate, estate planning, contracts, and corporate commercial. So if you have any questions in those areas of law, don't hesitate to give me a call or send me an email. I'll be happy to help.
What is something the buyer must be aware of when purchasing a property?
Okay, so there are so many things that the buyers need to pay attention to when they're trying to purchase a property. But I'd say one of the most important things is the offer, the contract of purchase and sale itself. Because once the buyers and sellers sign the contract, they will be bound by its terms. So it's best to review the contract before they sign it so they know what's included in there and what they're agreeing to. As part of the contract package, the buyers will also need to initial on the title search of the property. Title search is a document that shows the registered owner of the property, the legal notations and charges affecting the property. And the reason the buyers will need to initial next to this title search is to show what the state of the title was at the time they entered into the contract. And if you're a buyer that what you do is not in the real estate industry, you wouldn't know what to look for. So it's best to seek advice sooner in the process.
What type of charges are registered against the property, Shahrzad?
So there are two types of charges. The first one are the financial charges, like the mortgage, that are the responsibility of the seller to discharge prior or on closing. The second one are non-financial charges, and they typically remain with the property. And more often than not, they're not reviewed prior to completion of a purchase. But it's always advisable for the buyers to ask their lawyer to review the title and prepare a report on these charges for them so that they know what exactly they're dealing with and what these charges mean.
What are two charges the buyer must be cautious before entering into contract like purchase and sale?
Okay, so I'd say the first one are the restrictive covenants. Restrictive covenants are charges that prevent the owners or the tenants from certain type of use. For example, they would stop them from renovating the property, from having pets, or from parking their RV on the driveway. The second one, I'd say, is option to purchase, which is an agreement between the current owner of the property and the optionee, which is a buyer. The option to purchase gives that buyer the right, but not the obligation, to purchase a property at a predetermined price within a specified time frame. The charge must be pulled and carefully reviewed to see if it's assignable to this upcoming buyer, if that's the buyer wants, and if that's not something the buyer wants, it should be reviewed further to see if it's expired and it should be discharged by the seller prior to closing.
Besides the mortgages, there are some other financial charges that seller should be taking care of before or on closing. What are those?
So some of the most important ones are assignment of rents, builder's lien, certificate of pending litigation, judgment, and crown lien. So assignment of rents is a charge registered against title, allowing a lender to collect rent directly from a tenant if there is a default under the mortgage by the borrower. So what is a claim of builder lien? This is a charge of an interest registered against the land to secure payment for labor or materials. For example, you have hired a contractor to help in developing the property, but have not paid them for labor and materials. Once this builder's lien is registered against the property, it will remain on the property for 1 year, and it will interfere with the owner of the property's right to get a mortgage or sell the property. So what is certificate of pending litigation, CPL for short? This charge gives notice of a court action where someone claims an estate or interest in land, or as the result of another enactment has right of action in respect of land. It's a prejudgment until the dispute is concluded. So what is a judgment charge against the property? It's a court order by the Federal Court of Canada, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court or Provincial Court, or a judge of those courts, by which usually money is payable to any person, which entitles that person to register that order in the land title office. This also prevents the owner from mortgaging the property or selling the property. What is the Crown lien charge against the property? It's a debt due to the Crown or the provincial government. For example, it's for non-payment of property taxes, speculation on vacancy taxes, or empty home taxes if you live in Vancouver.